How many hours have you wasted repeating after YouTube videos, shadowing podcasts, or mimicking native speakers, only to freeze when someone actually speaks to you? You practice, you rehearse, you know the sentence, you've said it 100 times, but when the moment comes, real conversation, your tongue betrays you. You fumble, you mumble, and in your head, a voice says, "Damn, I still sound like a beginner." Let me be blunt. Pronunciation has nothing to do with your lips or your accent. It starts with what's blocking your brain. Because right now, you don't have a speaking problem. You have a mental reflex problem. You've been taught the wrong way, told to be careful, to pronounce every syllable clearly, to sound correct. But have you ever actually listened to how native speakers talk? Go walk the streets of London or New York or Sydney. Native speakers don't talk like the textbooks. They chop words, they smash sounds together. They're messy, fast, and lazy with their mouths, because that's how fluency works. Fluency is not perfection. It's not about pronouncing every word the right way. It's about rhythm, confidence, flow, and most importantly, reflex. You've been training your mouth to obey rules. But real speech isn't about rules. It's about habits. It's about automation. So let's break it down. There are 3 things you're doing right now that are silently killing your pronunciation, and they've got to go. Number 1, stop thinking in your native language before you speak. You hear the question in English, you translate it to Vietnamese, you build a sentence in Vietnamese, then you try to convert it back into English. By the time you speak, it's already too late. Your mouth is hesitating because your brain is trying to translate, not respond. And language doesn't work like that. Imagine a boxer who studies punches from a book. He knows the moves, he's watched the videos, but when the fight starts, he just stands there, frozen, because he's thinking about the perfect move instead of just punching. That's you. You're overthinking your lines while the conversation has already moved on. Want native pronunciation? Then start thinking in English. Even if it's simple, even if it sounds broken. Because broken English that comes out fast is 100x better than perfect English that never leaves your mouth. Now here's number 2. Stop focusing on individual words. Fluent speakers don't speak word by word. They speak in chunks, word groups, sound units. And if you train each word separately, you're training to fail. Let me show you. Say this out loud. I want to go. Now say it again, fast, like a native would. I want to go. Did you hear the difference? It's not just pronunciation, it's connection. English isn't a language of pauses, it's a language of flow. But here's the trap. You repeat words, you memorize lists, you recite phrases, but your brain still sees them as separate pieces, not one fluent stream. So what happens? You speak slowly, you stress the wrong syllables, and worst of all, you sound robotic. Fixing this starts with one habit. Stop pausing after every word. Start linking. Start smashing sounds together. Forget perfect. Aim for natural. You're not a newsreader, you're a speaker. And real speakers connect. Number 3, stop fearing your own voice. I see it all the time. You whisper when you practice. You hide in your room, you wait until no one's around to speak. Why? Because deep down, you hate how you sound in English. You think it's embarrassing, you think it's not you. You hear yourself and cringe. And every time you do, you train your brain to stay silent. Listen, you'll never sound fluent if you're afraid of your own voice. Fluency means owning your sound, even when it's ugly. When I first started, I sounded ridiculous. Fake accent, weird rhythm. My friends laughed. I laughed too. But I didn't stop. I played with it. I exaggerated it. I acted like I was in a movie. And eventually, my voice became me. You don't improve by hiding. You improve by getting loud, by embracing your weird, by faking confidence until it becomes real. So yeah, stop doing these 3 things. Stop translating. Stop speaking word by word. Stop being ashamed of your voice. Because native pronunciation doesn't come from your mouth, it comes from your mindset. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to break your English barrier. forever. You walk into the room, someone smiles at you. They speak English, smooth, fast, casual. Your heart skips. You smile back, nodding, but your brain, it's scrambling, trying to grab the right words, the right sentence, the right accent. But nothing comes out. Your mind goes blank. Your body knows this feeling. It's the freeze, the one that hits every time you're thrown into real English, not classroom English, not repeat after me English, real life English. And this is the moment where most learners collapse, not because they don't know English, but because they've never trained for that moment. You've trained pronunciation like you train handwriting, carefully, quietly, one stroke at a time. But speech isn't like that. Speech is war. It's chaotic, fast, emotional. And in war, neat little rules don't help. So let's stop pretending pronunciation is about sounding good. It's not. Pronunciation is about being heard, being understood. And above all, being confident enough to keep talking, even when it feels messy. Let me say something that'll upset some of you. Your accent isn't the problem. Your hesitation is. I've heard learners with heavy accents communicate powerfully because they believed what they were saying. And I've seen people with near-perfect pronunciation crumble in conversations because they lacked conviction. It's never just about the sound. It's about ownership, your voice, your energy, your intent. So here's what we do now. We rebuild your speaking reflex from the inside out. No more tongue twisters, no more slow-motion phonetic drills. You're going to learn how to speak like you fight. Step 1, start thinking in English, even when you're alone. Not perfect English, not full sentences, just raw thoughts. You drop your keys, say, shit, I dropped them. You're hungry, say, I'm starving. You see a dog, wow, look at that guy. Talk to yourself, out loud, in your head, in the shower, while walking. You're not aiming to be correct, you're training your instincts. If you pause to build a sentence, you've already lost the moment. English has to become your default. That only happens when you use it, constantly, even silently. Step 2, stop speaking properly. Start performing. Native speakers don't pronounce, they act. They drop their voice. Emphasize sounds. Let emotions lead. You're flat. Careful, because you're trying not to mess up. But fluency is bold, it's expressive, it's theatrical. Pick a phrase. Say it angry. Say it sad. Say it like a movie villain. Say it like a drunk rock star. You're not just training pronunciation, you're unlocking your voice. Step 3, stop correcting yourself. Most learners kill fluency by trying to fix every mistake. You speak, then pause, correct, repeat. Flow dies, rhythm breaks, confidence drops, but fluent speakers ride through errors. It's not about perfection, it's about being understood. So speak loud, speak messy, finish the sentence. Because fluency isn't built in silence, it's built in motion. You're not just learning English, you're building a version of you that doesn't hesitate. Truth is, if you chase perfect pronunciation, you'll stay stuck. Perfection is a wall. Fluency needs a door. Let's get one thing straight. Native pronunciation is not some magical talent people are born with. It's not in your DNA. It's not about being gifted with an accent. It's a muscle, a pattern, a choice, trained again and again until it becomes natural. But most learners never reach that point, not because they can't, but because they're addicted to passive learning. They watch videos, they repeat after podcasts, they listen, and then wonder why they still speak like it's their first week in class. Here's the harsh truth. If you don't speak with force, you won't speak with fluency. You've trained yourself to be a consumer of English, not a producer. And producers sound different. They feel different. Have you ever noticed how confident speakers, even with bad grammar, dominate a conversation? Their English isn't perfect. Their sentences are messy. But they own the space. Because they understand something you haven't been told. Speech isn't about knowledge. It's about pressure. What do I mean? Imagine this. You're in a street market in Bangkok. You want to buy something. No translator, no phone, no time. You have to communicate. Now tell me this. In that moment, Are you thinking about R versus L sounds? Are you worried about silent letters or mouth position? Hell no. You're focused on connection, getting the point across, making the message land. And guess what? That pressure, that raw, uncomfortable pressure, is exactly what you need to train fluency. So here's what I want you to do. Stop practicing English when you're comfortable. Start practicing when you're slightly stressed. Talk to strangers, order food in English, record a 1-minute monologue every day, and post it online even if you hate how it sounds. You will cringe, you will stumble, you will sound weird, but you will grow fast, because pressure is the birthplace of fluency. Every real speaker you've ever admired went through it. Every fluent English learner who made it, they ran through the fire instead of hiding behind perfection. And it's time you did too. So what does this all come down to? You want native pronunciation? Then stop trying to copy the sound and start living the experience. Language isn't just a skill. It's a persona. And right now, your English-speaking persona is trapped behind 3 chains. Fear of mistakes, fear of judgment, fear of not sounding good enough. Cut them. Cut them now. Start speaking with rhythm, not rules. Start learning from use, not theory. Start building a voice that feels real, not rehearsed. You think native pronunciation comes from perfect mouth shape? No. It comes from confidence backed by consistent pressure. You think your voice sounds bad? Good. That means you're hearing it. That means you're growing. That means you're finally stepping into the uncomfortable zone where fluency lives. Let the words be ugly. Let the accent be weird. Let the voice be awkward. But let it out. Again and again and again. Because that's what native pronunciation really is. Not a sound, but a pattern. Not a technique, but a habit. Not a lesson, but a lifestyle. And if you want to speak like them, you've got to stop learning like a student and start living like a speaker. You're still waiting. Waiting for the right course. Waiting until your accent sounds good. Waiting for someone to correct your mistakes. Waiting until you feel ready. But guess what? Native speakers never did that. They never waited to feel perfect before they spoke. They never paused to check their grammar before they opened their mouths. They never stood in front of a mirror for hours analyzing their tongue position before talking to a friend. You did. You've been treating English like a science experiment. Safe, controlled, academic. But speaking a language is a fight. It's wild, messy, unpredictable, and no one survives that fight by hiding in a textbook. So here's a reality check. You don't need to sound like a native to be fluent. But if you want to sound like a native, you've got to train like one. And native speakers, they didn't become fluent through perfection. They became fluent through pressure, play, failure, and repetition. What are you doing? Rehearsing the same 10 sentences in your bedroom, terrified to speak in public, correcting yourself mid-sentence like a robot trying to debug its own software, repeating textbook dialogues you'd never actually use in a real conversation. That's not fluency. That's fear dressed up as practice. You want to break your plateau? Get louder. Get sloppier. Get real. Do voice mimicry drills while walking. Argue with yourself in English in the shower. Say things you're not sure how to say, and figure it out later. Get into the habit of thinking in English first, fixing second. Because pronunciation isn't fixed with your tongue, it's fixed in your mindset. If you sound unsure, it's because you are unsure. If you sound hesitant, it's because you doubt yourself. And as long as that doubt stays in your head, it's going to leak through your voice, no matter how many pronunciation rules you memorize. So here's the final truth. Are you ready? You're not stuck because your English is bad. You're stuck because you're still trying to speak perfectly. Real speakers make mistakes while you're still afraid to open your mouth. Forget the mouth drills. Forget the accent shame. Forget waiting until it sounds right. Start talking. Start thinking. Start owning your voice. Even if it's messy, even if it's fast, even if it's flawed. Because real fluency doesn't sound perfect, it sounds real.